Hey everyone, I'm here at the Bible study. I'm going to read a short story first and then we'll read another one at the end.
Aren't you calling me short again?
Yep, you are. Go sit down, Short.
Quit!
Go sit down.
Quit calling me short!
Go sit down, Short. This one is by Mary Ward.
Mary Ward!
And the title is called A Day Off at the Right Time.
Day off.
A little before noon on the Friday before Labor Day, my husband Kerwin and I were sitting and talking in our living room. It was a break from our usual routine. Kerwin worked afternoons as a forklift driver at a warehouse. God, you're making me crazy, Sharon. And also part-time at FedEx, unloading trucks. The past few months had been a whirlwind. He decided to take a well-deserved day off to rest and relax. And with Labor Day that coming Monday, we'd be able to spend 4 whole days together. We decided to spend the time staying in, just enjoying each other's company. Suddenly we heard an ear-splitting crack, followed by a crash. We ran to the window. The massive ash tree near our house had fallen. Wow. The downed tree was so big, it crossed our entire front yard. Kerwin and I rushed outside to assess the damage. That's when we saw it. The top of the ash tree had landed on Kerwin's car. The impact had shattered the back windshield with explosive force, sending shards of glass throughout the car and onto the driveway. The car was totaled for sure. It felt like rotten luck at first. Then I glanced at my watch. It was 12 o'clock sharp, the exact time Kerwin always got in his car to leave for work, but not today. God put it in their heart to take the day off that day, or he would have been killed. All right. I wouldn't just call that good luck, would you? I'd call that a miracle. Blessing. God. All right. Today's devotion is by Pamela Townsend Howard, and the verse she picked out to go with her devotion is Hebrews 12:14, and it says, "Make every effort to live in peace with everyone and to be holy. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord." And now I'm going to go read Hebrews chapter 12, and we'll come back to the devotion. So with God disciplines his sons, warning against refusing God. And that's what we're talking about today. Okay. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders, the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run the perseverance, the race marked out for us. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinful men, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. In your struggle against sin, you have not yet resisted to the point of shedding your blood, and you have forgotten that word of encouragement that addresses you as sons. My son, do not make light of the Lord's discipline, and do not lose heart when he rebukes you, because the Lord disciplines those he loves, and he punishes everyone he accepts as a son. Endure hardship as discipline. God is treating you as sons. For what son is not disciplined by his father? If you are not disciplined, and everyone undergoes discipline, then you are illegitimate children and not true sons. Moreover, we have all had human fathers who disciplined us, and we respected them for it. How much more should we submit to the Father of our spirits and live? Our Father disciplined us for a little while, as they thought best. But God disciplines us for our good, that we may share in his holiness. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Therefore, strengthen your feeble arms and weak knees. Make level paths for your feet, so that the lame may not be disabled, but rather healed. Make every effort to live in peace with all men, and to be holy. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord. See to it that no one misses the grace of God, and that no matter which root grows up to cause trouble and defile many. See that no one is sexually immoral, or is godless like Esau, who for a single meal sold his inheritance rights as the oldest son. Afterward, as you know, when he wanted to inherit his blessing, he was rejected. He could bring about no change of mind, though he sought the blessing with tears. Let me just tell you a little bit about what happened here. Jacob and Esau were twins, sons of Isaac and Rebekah. Isaac, son of Abraham and Sarah. Okay, Esau came out first, so he's considered the oldest. Well, him and Jacob were like hunting in the woods and whatever, and Esau was hungry because he couldn't catch anything. You know, he was really hungry, and Jacob had food. So, he was, asking Jacob, to give him something to eat. And Jacob said he would if you gave him the right as the oldest son, his birthright. And Esau agreed to it. So he gave him the food. And then when he went home, Jacob, Isaac favored Esau and Rebekah favored Jacob. And Esau was a really hairy man, and Jacob wasn't. And Isaac was blind. He was old and dying, and he was blind. And Rebekah put like furry coat, like a furry thing on Jacob, and sent him into Isaac. And he was talking to him, give me my birthright, pretending to be Esau. And he's like, you still like my son Esau, but you sound like Jacob. And so he asked Rebekah who it was, and she said, this is your son Esau, because it was really Jacob. But so he gave him the birthright, and when Esau came back, he was wanting the birthright, even though he promised it to Jacob, for giving him the food. He was a liar. And Isaac told him, it was too late. He had already given the blessing. So he blessed him with a small blessing, but he didn't get the blessing of the birthright, the big blessing. So Jacob left to avoid Esau's wrath for a long time. So that's what happened. You have not come to a mountain that can be touched and that is burning with fire, to darkness, gloom, and storm, to a trumpet blast, or to such a voice speaking words that those who heard it begged that no further word be spoken to them, because they could not bear what was commanded. If even an animal touches a mountain, it must be stoned. The sight was so terrifying that Moses said, I am trembling with fear. But you have come to Mount Zion, to the heavenly Jerusalem, the city of the living God. You have come to thousands upon thousands of angels in joyful assembly, to the church of the firstborn, whose names are written in heaven. You have come to God, the judge of all men, to the spirits of righteous men made perfect, to Jesus, the mediator of a new covenant, and to the sprinkled blood that speaks a better word than the blood of Abel. See to it that you do not refuse him who speaks. If they did not escape when they refused him, who warned them on earth, how much less will we if we turn away from him who warns us from heaven? Abel was one of the sons of Adam and Eve. He was the good son. Cain was the bad one. Cain ended up stoning Abel to death because he was jealous of him. Once more, I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens. The words once more indicate the removing of what can be shaken, that is, created things, so that cannot be shaken may remain. Therefore, since we are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, let us be thankful that so worship God acceptably with reverence and awe, for our God is a consuming fire. Alright, you know the Lord loves Mount Zion. Alright, let's put that aside. And now let's go to our devotion. Alright. Stop it, turkey. And Pamela says, my mom, Gloria, was a great woman who valued peace in her home and in her relationships. She was known for putting up her hand if a discussion got too heated and saying, peace. Then she'd simply walk away without holding a grudge. As a result of her commitment to keeping the peace, I grew up in a home where I can recall very few arguments. She didn't need to win every argument or prove she was right. As a result, there was an atmosphere of peace and holiness wherever she went. I have a similar desire for peace, though I admit I do like when I'm right. In the verse above, the author of Hebrews states the importance of pursuing peace, and it's not just a suggestion. The verse again was, make every effort to live in peace with everyone and to be holy. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord. Hebrews 12:14. So my husband and I decided to adopt a technique we learned in a Christian marriage seminar. Every day we try to tell each other something we appreciate about the other. Sometimes we exchange comments back and forth until we're both grinning and twinkling and feeling appreciated. It actually becomes contagious as more and more qualities you enjoy to cultivate peace in any relationship. This is a surefire and fun way to cultivate peace in a relationship. The result is that others will see Jesus in your peaceful and holy demeanor, and you will see it in them too. And your homework from Pamela. Cultivate a peaceful atmosphere by regularly telling people you are in relationship with why you appreciate them. Alright. I thought this one was kind of hard today. Not very easy to understand as others probably. So I'm sorry about that. I'm not feeling very well all of a sudden. So I'll just go ahead and read one more of the devotions and we'll skip the animal devotion for today. Okay? I think it's the heat. We need to close the curtains and turn the air on. I'm getting hot and feeling sick. I'm still in a lot of pain where I fell. I can't walk straight. I'm walking crooked. I can barely walk because my hip and leg and got bruises and scratches all over. It's hurting really bad. I could barely walk this morning to get in here. Alright, this one is by Mary Whitney. In the Care of Angels. I stepped off the worn wooden pier onto the bench. The sun was low on the horizon. The waves lapped gently on the shore, and the sand was cool between my toes. In the distance, I could see dolphins. It was a perfect day, but my insides were knotted in fear and anger. Why, Lord? Why does my brother have to suffer? Earlier that day, my sister-in-law had called me. Wayne has Alzheimer's, she said. We'd all noticed Wayne had started forgetting mostly little things. What day it was, where he'd put his car keys, how to get to the grocery store, but the official diagnosis was devastating. My beloved big brother, the one who sent me letters with little shells, jingles, scallops, kitten paws, tucked in the envelopes when he was stationed in Vietnam, who ended each letter with, "May angels guard you." I kept every shell he ever sent. They started my collection, which I was still adding to decades later. He'd always taken care of me. How could I take care of him? I breathed in the salty air and tried to calm my mind, tried to focus on the waves at my feet instead of my brother's uncertain future. A wave retreated, leaving a thin, foamy residue behind. I felt something next to my foot and glanced down. 2 shells, pearly white and thick. The way they were positioned next to each other in the sand made them look like a pair of wings. Angels would guard him. I grabbed the shells and rushed home. I'd write my brother a letter with a shell tucked inside. Okay guys, that's where we're going to stop today. I'm having trouble reading and stuff today too. You know, some days I'm still really stupid with this stupid COVID brain, so I apologize. The video wasn't very good today. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, we'll see you guys again tomorrow, better, with another Bible study. Bye guys. God bless.